So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Atila. I'm an Education USA advisor at PUC Rio de Janeiro. It's my biggest pleasure to welcome today Marina Passos from Northeastern University, who is going to talk today about how to apply for graduate school programs in the United States. Again, I would like to welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm sure you will see a lot of very interesting and relevant information. I'd like to ask you to keep your microphones off for the duration of the presentation, but feel free to turn on your cameras if you wish. And feel free as well to use the chat function to write down questions throughout the presentation. In the final 15 minutes of our session today, we're going to turn our attention to your questions and have a little bit of a question and answer session. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Marina.
All right, thank you, Atila. So hi, everyone. Good evening. So my name is Marina Passos. I'm part of the International Enrollment Management team at Northeastern University. It's a pleasure to be here today and to talk to you about applying to graduate programs in the US. So thank you very much, Education USA. I'm really happy to join you again on this session. So this webinar is pretty much dedicated to international students who are interested in pursuing a graduate certificate or a master's degree in the United States. So once again, thank you for joining. And well, this session will be conducted in English. I know that there are some people here from Brazil or from any other Latin American countries. So that's why we decided to host it in English. However, if you have any questions and you want to write them down in Spanish or Portuguese, please feel free and we can address all of your questions in the end of the session. So this section is expected to take around 30 minutes, all right? And once again, we will address all questions at the end of the session. So also during this session, we will provide some general information and overview about the application process. It's very important to mention that requirements, they vary by university, by college, and by the program that you are applying for. So please make sure to always check your program of interest website for more information on specific requirements. All right, thank you. So this is an overview of what we will discuss on the next few minutes. So we'll be talking about Northeastern University, how to find a program that aligns with your goals, how to start the application process, academic requirements such as an English proficiency exam, tests, and transcripts. We will also talk about your resume, your statement of purpose, and recommendation letters. And of course, next steps after being accepted to the program of your choice. Moving on, just one second. So Northeastern University is a Tier 1 research university, and we offer a unique education model that integrates rigorous academics with experiential learning. We are really proud to say that Northeastern is currently ranked number 49 on the US as according to the US News and World Report ranking, and number 1 for co-op and internships. So the university has over 3,000 employer partners and over 10,000 students who register for the co-op each year. So for those who are not familiar with co-op, this is actually a part of the experiential learning at Northeastern. So it's an opportunity for you to take to the field what you're learning in the classroom. So let's say it's sort of an internship that you can take while you're doing your master's degree at the university. So Northeastern offers both undergrad and graduate programs across our campuses in Boston, which is actually the main campus, but we also have some graduate programs in Seattle, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Portland, Maine, but also in Canada and the United Kingdom. And all of those campuses are open to international students. All right, so let's get to the bottom of it. So how to choose the right program for me? So let's just start by saying that one of the main advantages of studying abroad is that students can aim for highly ranked world universities. So this means access to better academic support, better education, to universities that have great facilities and up-to-date academic resources. And besides, the number of programs which are offered is much higher than what we are used to here in Latin America. And also, by attending a university outside your home country, it can help you develop some soft skills which are really high on demand nowadays, such as flexibility, adaptability, problem-solving skills, communication skills, just to name a few. All right, so let's go here. So first of all, consider your career goals. So ask yourself how the program that you are choosing can help you achieve your professional goals. Make sure that the program that you choose is aligned to your career pathways, to your career interests, and also with your personal interests as well. So let's say, for instance, the MBA. An MBA program, the program will give you tools that might take you to different professions. But if you want to specialize in one particular field, maybe you should choose the Master's in Finance, for instance. Also, allocate 6 months or so prior to your application deadlines. Remember that it takes time to research and to prepare both academic and professionally and also, of course, financially to attend a graduate program overseas. So you want to prepare yourself, you want to take time to do it, you don't want to leave anything for the last minute, otherwise it's not going to work. And just remember that in the US, they take it very serious when it comes to deadlines, all right? So maybe you want to create a calendar for yourself. Also, always check the program's curriculum for all the credits and courses that you need to take towards earning the degree that you chose. Make sure that the curriculum also aligns with your goals and expectations. Once again, check all the program's requirements. Once again, I'll give you an example of the MBA program, which actually requires 2 years of work experience. So if you don't have that, maybe you want to choose a different program to apply for. Also, what's the learning model that you want? Are you looking for an online program that you can take from your home country? Or do you want to travel to the US and take an on-ground program? So make sure that you're choosing a program that is available of the learning model that you're looking for. And of course, be mindful of the start dates of the program. As you may already know, the academic calendar in the US is different from what we are used to in Latin America. So official start dates would be in September. However, you will find lots of programs that have a start date in January or maybe April or even on summer, which would be July, right? All right, another tip, review the website repeatedly. So go on the website of the program that you are choosing, of the university that you are choosing, and just review all the information there over and over again. Ask for help if you need to narrow your options. You may contact alumni, students from that university. At Northeastern, for instance, we have the student ambassadors who are willing to talk to prospective students and just share their experience at the university with them. And you may want to plan your questions ahead. So here are just a few questions that you might want to ask to our students and alumni. And also, please feel free to contact an academic counselor. So we have EducationUSA here, so they provide counseling, and reaching out to them can definitely make your life easier, just because you will have guidance from a team who has experience and expertise in educational programs in the US. And also, please feel free to reach out to us at the university as well. We will be more than happy to assist you throughout this process as well. So to start your application, you just need to remember one thing, that the objective of the application is not to show the admissions office your past achievements, but it's an opportunity for you to tell your story on your own words. So just keep that in mind for all the information that is coming ahead on this presentation. All right, so as I have mentioned before, to start the application, you need to review the university's website. You need to confirm if documents should be provided online or if the university requires you to send official copies of the documents by mail to the university directly. So make sure that you are applying online or if you need to send the documents to the university by mail. It's very important to have all documents ready before submitting the online application, or if you need to send those to the university. So make sure that you have the complete documents before applying to the university. And just take time. As I have mentioned before, it's very important for you to prepare yourself and not leave everything for the last minute. So take your time, don't submit anything that is not accurate, or if you haven't really fulfilled the requirements, do not submit the application. And also just be aware that in case you submit an application and you have some pending documents, then your application will most likely not be reviewed by the admissions committee. So make sure that you are applying with complete documents. Academic requirements for international students, they include transcripts. When we say transcripts, we mean the transcripts from your bachelor's degree and also for any postgraduate program that you might have attended. We are going to need both original and authorized translation of the documents. So if they are written in Portuguese or Spanish, you need to provide an authorized translation to English. English proficiency exams. So it can be either TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, or PTE. Just remember that you should upload an official and official scores to your application. When we say official scores, it means that you need to send your scores directly from the test's website to the university. All right. So if we are talking about Northeastern universities, then you should you should send official scores directly by the test's website. But once again, just make sure that the university that you're applying for really accepts Duolingo and PTE. All right, universities usually accept TOEFL and IELTS, but because of the pandemic, we are able now to accept Duolingo and PTE as well. Graduate admissions test. So these are GRE and GMAT. Not all programs require those. So once again, please check the requirements for the specific program that you're applying for. And be aware that both GRE and GMAT, they are waived for spring 22 and fall 22 to most universities, once again, because of the pandemic. All right, so moving on to your resume. So your resume or your curriculum or your CV, as you may want to call it, needs to be updated and optimized for your application and for the program that you are applying for. So you have to tailor it according to the program that you want to pursue and according to the university that you want to pursue. Don't forget that your experience should be on chronological order. So it's starting with your current position. And you also want to include articles, any research and presentations that you might have done, or any awards or honors that you have received in the past also. All right, the statement of purpose is actually one of the most important components of the application. You don't want to make it too emotional. You just want to keep it professional. And you can start by asking a few questions before you start writing the statement of purpose. So you might want to ask yourself, why do I want to apply for this program? And why did I choose that university? What are my expectations? What are my expectations? Maybe what soft skills have I acquired on my previous academic and professional experience? So ask yourself those questions, and please submit a personal statement that describes your background. And when we say background, we mean professionally, personal, and academic. You need to provide a statement of purpose that, just 1 second. There you go, I'm admitting some people. You need to provide a statement of purpose that describes your interests. So if you're interested in research, for instance, please go ahead and tell us why are you interested in research? Or maybe you want to list your professional goals and motivations for entering the program, any relevant prior experience. When we say relevant, it means that we want to hear your relevant experience based on the program that you are applying for. Please do not send the same statement of purpose and the same letter to multiple universities. This is very important. Tailor your letters according to the university that you are applying for, and do not submit a letter to one university with another university's name on it. So please proofread it always. And tell your story. Remember that the admissions office already has your curriculum. They already have your grades. They already have your marks. They already have your English proficiency exam score. So this is your chance to tell your story on your own words. So use it. And always, as I mentioned before, just always review the statement of purpose. It should have around 500 to 1,000 words. Make sure that you stick to that. And always review grammar, vocabulary, punctuation. You might want to ask someone you trust to read it to you and make any notes and any changes. Just remember that 4 eyes is better than 1. So please reach out to someone you trust, make them read, ask them to read your statement of purpose and make their notes on it. One other important part of the application are the letters of recommendation. So they should come from professors, a former supervisor, an academic coordinator, for instance. So it can be both professional or academic, but never from a family member, I'm sorry, or a close friend. All right. So you need to choose strong recommenders who know you well and can point out your strengths. And recommendation information should be accurate. All right. So we will connect, the universities will connect with the recommenders just to make sure that they are providing all the information that we want from you. Also, always discuss with the recommenders before submitting their contact information. Provide them with information about the school that you're applying for, the program that you're applying for, and give them time to prepare the recommendation as well. Don't ask them to write a letter on one day and expect them to have it ready by the next day. So give them time to prepare a proper recommendation, but also give them a deadline. So discuss it with them before actually asking them to write a recommendation letter. And also, please proofread your application. Always proofread it before submitting. So check for misspellings. You may want to ask a friend or a family member to review it as well, because any minor mistakes may take the admissions office to dismiss your application. You don't want that. So now that you have submitted your application and you're good to go, now what? So please make sure to always check your application status. Most likely you will be able to do that through the application portal that you register for, your university's application portal. And as I have mentioned before, if you don't submit all documents, then your application most likely won't be reviewed by the admissions office. So make sure that you have checked all the requirements. And also check the average application processing time. So you need to know that the admissions office will not review your application on your own time. They have their own schedule and they have their own application processing time. So make sure that you connect with the university and know how long is it going to take for you to review my application. You might want to ask the university that, or maybe you will have that information on the website as well. And just so you know, admissions decisions, they are made using a holistic approach. So that means that the admissions office, they will consider the entire application when considering the applicant. So strong recommendation letters, a clear and well-written statement of purpose, any relevant experience that you might have in the field of studies that you're applying for, those can actually help you overcome the obstacle of a low GPA, for instance. So make sure to provide all those documents so the admissions office can review the complete application using a holistic approach. And also, after you're accepted to the program, don't forget to enroll. This is very important. Enrollment means that you are accepting the offer from the university, and you need to let the university know that you are accepting the offer, all right? And I want to leave you with some questions as well that will make you think about yourself, your accomplishment, your goals, and things that you might want to include in your statement of purpose and your application in general. So these are some things that we look for on applicants. So we are looking for applicants who are committed, who have a positive attitude, who will be part of the university community as well, who will engage in activities provided by the university. We want students who can be leaders as well, and who can show social responsibilities. So these are some things for you to practice in your home country as well. And to develop those skills is very important when you decide to apply for a university overseas. All right, so finally, I'm leaving you with those questions. And if you have any questions, please send them through the question box, and I'll be happy to answer to all of your queries. I think that we actually have some questions here already. GRE and GMAT scores are required for all the cases, or for more experienced professional, it's optional. So GRE and GMAT scores, they are required for some programs, mostly programs related to business, engineering, and computer science. However, they are waived, all right, for spring 22 and fall 22 for most universities. So you want to connect with the university of your choice just to make sure that they are waived for the program that you are applying for. But usually GRE is required for engineering and computer science, and GMAT is usually required for business programs. We have another question here, just 1 second. Do I have to contact prospective supervisors prior to the application? That's actually a really good question, Melanie. It's not required for you to contact prospective supervisors prior to the application, all right? You will connect with academic counselors, not counselors, academic advisors, and also supervisors upon acceptance to the program. And the academic advisors will help you schedule all of your classes and with courses registration and putting up your schedule and all of that. But that's upon acceptance to the program, okay? Let me see if we have any more questions here. If you want to write your questions in Spanish or Portuguese as well, you don't really feel comfortable with English, that's okay. You can go ahead and do it. Just so you know, I'm based in Brazil. I do speak Portuguese and Spanish, so you can always reach out on those languages as well. We are just conducting this session in English because we have Portuguese speakers and Spanish speakers here today. That's Leandro. This is a really good question. Oh, I'm sorry, Atula, were you gonna say something? No.
I'm sorry, I just saw Leandro's question. I'm saying that's an interesting question, but please.
It is. So the question is, how good is Argentinians' education in American eyes? So this is actually a really good question. And I would say that in American education eyes, we are going to consider the whole application. And we do understand that education in Latin America is a little bit, let's say, tricky, because it depends on your grades will basically depend on the university that you are attending. You might be attending a high-level university, which provides a really, really strong academic background, and then your grades will not be as good as maybe someone who is attending a low-profile university or something like that. That could happen. That's perfectly fine. The thing is that we are going to check information about your university, the university that you have attended as well. All right. It doesn't have to be top one university in the world or top one university in your home country. That's okay. But we are going to see if that university has proper credentials in your home country. All right, so it has to be, I'm not sure what's the name of the Ministry of Education in your home country, but we are going to check if the university is authorized by the Ministry of Education in your home country. All right, so this is very important. That's a really good question. And that goes actually for all countries, all right? So if you're applying from, I don't know, Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay, Brazil, it doesn't matter. We are gonna check if your university is accredited by the organization or the Ministry of Education in your home country.
Marina, to that point, could you talk a little bit? So the university, right, Northeastern University, for example, will check if that institution is accredited or recognized by the local ministries of education. But do the applicants have to do anything or provide any documents to support you, to help you in that?
No. There is no need to provide any extra documents. The only documents that we are going to require from the university are the transcripts, and that's it. Like, you don't need to provide evaluation of transcripts or anything like that. You just need to provide the transcripts, and we will work on the evaluation as well. Just make sure that you're providing both original in your native language plus notarized translation. So we're going to need notarized translation as well.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Let me see. Just so you know as well, so we are talking about the US, of course. And just so you know, the university is open. All right. So yes, of course, last year we were closed because of the pandemic, and we were able to provide online classes to all of our students. But as of January this year, actually, January 2021, we were able to get students to on-ground classes. And as of September this year, so as of last month, we are able to provide fully on-ground classes to all of our students. So vaccine is mandatory on campus. If you have not gotten your vaccine on your home country, you're welcome to take the vaccine on campus as well. And also we are providing COVID testing to all of our students and faculty members on campus as well. And it's very important also to mention that if you're looking to apply for January, a few programs are still open for admissions. But if you want to apply for fall 22, you still have time for that. But for spring 22, which means that classes start in January, admissions closing date are really approaching. So you might want to complete your application as soon as possible for the university of your choice. All right, we have a question here, and I was actually expecting that question, Javiera. So thank you. We have a question about scholarships. So of course that scholarships is like the $1 million question. So we do provide some scholarships, and they are based on merit, which means that the admissions office will review the application and consider all documents before making a decision. It's highly competitive. So I would advise you to provide really strong documents to support the application. So you need to have really good grades and marks, but you also need to provide really strong recommendation letters. Professional experience would be required as well. All right. In case that you are not eligible for a scholarship, you might as well want to search for third-party organizations that they might provide loans and scholarships for international students. And I'm sure that EducationUSA might have something to say about that also, that you have like Fulbright and you have other institutions that can also provide some scholarships and funding to international students. So that's why we always tell you to also look for academic advisors so they can actually help you with third parties organizations as well. Let me see if there are any more questions. Okay, not at this point.
Marina, I have one question that I always get, and it's more related to the experience of like the campus experience of graduate students in the US, because we see, I think more and more we see, you know, in social media or on TV and movies, a lot about the experience of undergraduate students on campus, right? They live on campus, it's all residential, there's a lot of clubs. So what does it look like for graduate students, for students who are in their master's or PhD programs? Do they live on campus? Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yep, that's a great question, Atlas. So graduate students, they do not live on campus. At Northeastern, we provide a off-campus housing department that it can actually help students finding accommodation off campus in Boston and any other campuses as well. But I would say that the graduate experience is actually really great because you can actually reach out to a lot of faculty members and discuss your research and projects. You're going to be really engaged in the university in general, because when we're talking about graduate students, that means that you are in the university providing some research and projects that will be used by the university, even for teachers to teach undergraduate studies, you know. So graduate students can also apply for teaching assistantships, for instance. All right, so they can apply for research assistantships. So that's a really great opportunity for international students as well, because you can actually gain more academic and professional experience on campus. Our main campus in Boston, I would say that it's like an opportunity for you to experience what we see on the movies and TV series. You have a really big campus located really close to downtown. So it's close to a lot of shops, a lot of malls, subway stations, and all of that. And it's a really, really big campus, really, really well located. And you have access to so many companies as well in Boston for you to do your co-op or maybe do an internship or something like that. So yeah, and of course, as an international student, as a graduate student, you will also have access to all of the facilities on campus, including gym, library, all of that. All right. And also, it's very important to mention that at Northeastern, we have the Office of Global Services, which assists international students with visa compliance, working on campus as well, because on an F1 visa, you are allowed to work on campus up to 20 hours a week. So we provide assistance on that as well. We provide assistance on applying for the OPT, which is the optional practical training. That's an opportunity for you to extend your stay in the United States upon completion of the program, because you can apply for OPT and actually work in your field of studies for up to 3 years, depending on the program that you're applying for. And we also have the Global Student Success, which is a department within Northeastern University. It's located, like physically located in Boston, but the students from any other campuses can also reach out to the Global Student Success, and they provide assistance and workshops and mentoring for dedicated specifically for international students to help them ease their way into the university and into classrooms and learn a little bit more about writing an essay in English and what teachers expect from you, and maybe you need to practice your English skills and you need someone, a tutor or something like that, to help you write an essay or something like that. So we have the Global Student Success Department that actually assists international students too on that. And of course, there is no extra charge or anything for all of these services. How many years of experience are usually required in order to get a scholarship? It's actually a really hard question to answer because it's not by the book. All right. So we don't have like, oh, okay, so you need to provide at least 2 years of work experience or anything like that. But let me just give you an example. All right. So let's say that I'm gonna give an example of myself. All right. I have graduated I got my bachelor's degree 15 years ago. So it's been a while. All right. So the university is more than happy to accept my application. However, I'm going to need to show the university what I have done from those 15 years. I have a gap between my bachelor's degree and now and today. So what have I been doing on those 15 years? So for that student, for me, I would have to show the university that I have professional experience because I got my bachelor's degree 15 years ago and I've worked on the field for those 15 years. But let's say there is a student who has just finished their undergraduate degree. So it's October, so maybe the student finished the undergraduate degree and got the bachelor's degree in 2021, December 2021. That student's not going to have the same professional experience as I do, and that's fine. We have different backgrounds, but we are both going to be considered for a scholarship. All right, so what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really depend on how many years of professional experience you have, or if you have just finished your bachelor's degree or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is you need to provide information for us of what you're doing and what do you expect from your career. So maybe I'm doing this because I want a career change. Or maybe because I really want to apply for a job that requires a master's degree. So that's why we provide a holistic approach of all applicants. All right. So we don't have like 1 or 2 years of work experience required for a scholarship. What I mean is, if you have completed your undergraduate degree like 15 years ago, then yes, you're going to have to provide professional experience. If you have completed your undergraduate degree last year, you may want to provide some professional experience, and it's okay if it's just 1 or 2 years of professional experience. No worries. But I would say that for the GPA, which is the grade point average, you need to provide at least 90%, let's say. All right, so GPA of 3.5 would be required. It depends on the program once again. But yeah, for the GPA, let's say 90% or something like that. All right. Let's see if there are any more questions. No, not so far. And I have put my details here as well. If you want to connect with me, that's perfectly fine. Let me see just one thing. And there's just one other thing that I wanted to discuss with you because we have a little bit of time. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the STEM programs. So I'm not sure if everyone is really familiar with STEM programs. STEM. So those are programs related to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And these programs are really on demand right now. So that means that if you're applying to a STEM program in the United States, you might be eligible for an OPT extension of up to 24 months. So as I mentioned before, there is the OPT, which is the optional practical training. That program allows you as an international student on an F1 visa to work in the US upon completing your studies. So you just got your master's degree and you are eligible to apply for the OPT and get a job in your field of studies in the United States. And of course, we have the career services to help you through that process, of course. But if you're applying for if you have completed a STEM program, then you are eligible for up to 3 years of OPT, which means that you can stay in the United States up to 3 years working in your field of studies. So that's a really great opportunity if your desire is actually to work in the United States and gain more professional experience in the country. So I would definitely advise you to search for a STEM eligible program. All right, I'm going to write that name here. So it's STEM program. All right, I'm just going to write it down here on the chat box. You might want to look it up. All right. Okay, great. Any more questions, anyone? I think that we are heading towards the end of the session.
Yeah, you really answered all our questions, Marina. Thank you so much. This was so informative. Thank you so much. This is really great.
This is my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you so much. I look forward to our next webinar already. I believe, you guys, that we have really reached the end of your questions. Thank you so much, Marina, for sharing your contact information with us. We'll also make it available for everyone. And remember that this session will be available in our YouTube channel, the Education USA Southern Cone YouTube channel. So you can come back here and get your questions answered if something was left unclear. I think if no one else has any other questions or comments, we can start wrapping up for today. On behalf of Education USA, I thank you one more time, Marina. This was really, really great. And I look forward to our next one. Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me again. I'm looking forward to having another session with you.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. So have a great rest of your week, Marina and everyone, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you and having all these really insightful and important questions.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. No worries.